So this morning I'm here with Carl Leonard from Lionhearted Blade Works for the unboxing and the reveal of the long-awaited PH Pro hunting knife. I'm David Sutherland. So here we are for the reveal of the PH Pro hunting knife. This is how you will receive it in this little box over here. You hold that there, Carl. And then we get it in this little canvas bag with the PH Pro logo on. This is how you will receive your knife. And very exciting first time opening this knife. And this is your PH Pro hunting knife inside. Let's go through the characteristics of the knife and the reason that we actually stuck to this design and the characteristics of the knife. Carl, if you'll hang on to that for me. Perfect. Okay, so this is the PH Pro hunting knife. Let's go through what this knife entails and why we decided. It was a long process. We thought about it, we designed it, we worked on it. And obviously knife, the most important thing about a knife is the blade. So what we wanted a blade which was long enough to be able to actually make a nice deep cut and stab and a cut. And then of course we wanted a nice long cutting edge so that you could actually cut, whether it be a stump or meat or whatever you're cutting, have a nice cutting edge. And then we had a nice rounded belly for that skinning, that rolling action that you have when you're skinning or cutting. And then we wanted a knife which was still sharp enough to facilitate a nice deep stab and a cutting action. So those are the three main things we looked at the blade. The other thing, of course, was the jimping on top of the blade. We wanted a nice grip for the thumb when you're doing a nice hard cut. And then we wanted the jimping on the top of the blade over there for the nice delicate skinning work where you have a nice rolling action. Your hand may be wet, have blood on. We wanted a nice grip on the knife at the same time to be able to do that finer cut. Carl, you talk to us about the steel and the finish of this blade. You're the guy that worked on that part.
Well, as David said, I mean, an amazing large blade for all your cutting applications when it comes to bushwork, skinning, hunting, caping, the works. And David touched on it, the nice jumping on the blade specifically for good retention, because you know a lot of times you're working in bloody conditions and so forth when you are skinning. So we chose to go with 80 CRV2 steel, specifically because of its work hardness, if I can put it that way. It is an amazing steel for all-round application. It is a high carbon steel, so there is blade care involved in that. But the reason why we chose it was it is super strong. And running at about 60 Rockwell, it has amazing edge retention, which you need. You can't be sharpening your knife when you're busy in the bush. So amazing hard and sharp edge. And then we chose to go with a stonewash finish. So we acid etch the knife, throw it in the tumbler, and you get this nice mottled stonewash finish on the blade so that it is ready for use. And then the next part to the blade is the steep saber grind that we have on it. The saber grind is a really strong grind because you've got quite a bit of meat left on the top of the blade. The blade sitting at 3.5 millimeters thick, so that you've got a sturdy blade, but yet not too heavy for long carrying through the bush. And then the edge is an important thing. What is a good edge on a blade? And we went with a 25-degree angle edge on it so that it has good edge retention, but still has that sliceability. I mean, we can shave with this knife. So that's what we've done with the blade.
So, Carl, I see you don't have the little notch which you generally include in the blades there.
That's it. And we discussed this for quite some time, actually. So that little sharpening trail was a big thing for us. We removed it. A lot of knife makers added in for ease of sharpening, but we wanted a practical knife. So we removed that little sharpening trail that's on so many other blades so that we have no snag points. There's nothing worse than using a knife and having it hooking on the skin when you're cutting a throat or skinning. So that was removed so that it is seamless when using and it doesn't have any snag points.
Okay, and then the thickness of the blade, as Carl mentioned, and the steel, we want to be able to actually stab in, maybe sever a vertebrae behind the skull and actually lever. And, a professional hunting knife is unfortunately exposed to a lot of unintended abuse. It's the environment in which we work, and the knife must be able to withstand those conditions. But Carl, talk to us a little bit about the handle and why we decided to go with that.
All right. So when you see the close-ups of this knife, you'll see, first of all, you've got a slight protrusion of steel on the top and the bottom, and that is called the shadow line. The shadow line is given a bit of texturing for really good grip, because, as we mentioned on the blade usage, we are working in unique environments, or where there's blood or water. So we've added the shadow line with the jimping on it, or the protrusion on it, so that you've got really good grip. You've got a nice finger choil here for good retention of the blade. So we've opted to go with a G10 handle. We love wood, but wood is not nearly as strong as a composite material. So what is G10? G10 is a fiberglass reinforced resin. So it is an extremely strong handle material, and we've put a wicker basket patterning on it for great retention on the knife. To give you an indication of how strong this G10 is we opted not to use any glues, epoxies, or resin. We went specifically with this riveting system. So we mechanically fit each one of these handle scales with a 304 stainless steel rivet that we flare with 4 tons of pressure. So each rivet is holding with 4 tons of pressure continuously. And that just gives a bit of an indication of how strong the G10 is.
Wow, Carl, that's awesome. We got a high quality, durable, beautiful knife. It's
Very
really
beautiful.
great looking knife. And we've got some good news for you, and we've imparted the good news to you, and this is great. But the bad news is that you're never going to need another knife again. You're never going to have to buy another knife. Okay, Carl, great. Let's talk to the viewers about the carry options and the sheath that we went with.
Yeah. So, I found that a sheath is just as important as the blade. To have a good carry option is of vital importance. I've got so many knives that I'm just left on the shelf or in the safe because I can't carry them reliably. So what we went and did is we chose Kydex as our carry option. Kydex, to explain to the viewers what it is a thermomolded plastic, but it's a military grade thermomolded plastic, which we rely on to carry our pistols, spare magazines, and so forth. So why not our knives? So a really strong material. I've been carrying my pistol every day for the last 10 years in the same Kydex. So that gives you an indication of how strong the Kydex is. And then the biggest part on a Kydex sheath is your retention. Leather is beautiful aesthetically, but it is not nearly as practical as Kydex. So I'll pick up the blade again and I'll just show you here quickly. So when the blade slots in, you've got a good clip in. So great retention. You're not going to lose the blade. And what we've done is gone a step further. We've actually added a jacking bolt. So right here, you can set your retention. You can tighten it up or loosen it for whatever your application is. So that's the actual carrying of the blade. Moving on to us carrying the blade, we've gone with ambidextrous leather belt loop on it. So ambidextrous meaning there is a carry option on either side of the blade. So whether you're carrying it scalp carry on your side, or perhaps on the small of your back, or even appendix carry, you are able to choose how you want to carry it. We recommend scalp carry, as we were talking about a while ago. Carrying it on the small of your back, it's totally out of the way. It's not bumping or scratching your rifle. It's not making noise, but it's there where you need it continuously. Then if you opt for a vertical carry, this carry option gives you that ability on your side or on the other side, wherever you want to carry it, you're able to carry it because it has that versatility. And then I can go one step further. If you are carrying a backpack, perhaps you're on a long time in the field, you can actually attach it to your pack and it can hang where you're able to access it, but it is ready for when you need to use it. And then again, that Kydex and that jacking bolt, you can set your attention so that this knife can dangle upside down the whole day. You're not going to lose it.
The other thing I see here, Carl, is the positioning of this carry loop is on the sheath down here. It's not up here. So what you have a knife standing proud, and if you sit in a vehicle, it's not going to catch.
Exactly.
It's not going to catch the bottom. It's going to be comfortable. You can move around.
Exactly. And you've just touched on it there. In the small of your back, you've got this hollow that isn't touching the seat.
Correct.
So if it is on the small of your back, it's totally out of the way, and you're never going to feel like it's digging into your backside like so many other knives do.
Oh, this is great, Carl. The combination of Sheath, the knife, the PH Pro is, I think, a once-in-a-lifetime professional hunting tool. That's what it is. We designed it, nice positive click over there, to be the ultimate tool for the professional hunter in terms of its usability, quality, but the aesthetics too. It's a beautiful knife. It's, you know what we like. We own 50 knives and we don't use any of them, but this is a knife that you're actually going to use in the field. So to place your orders for this knife, you can go on Lion-Hearted Blade Works website, which is LH, tell them, Carl.
lhbladeworks.com, or alternatively on David's site, you can perhaps just give your site.
phschool.co.za. You can go in over there, follow the link for ordering of the PH Pro hunting knife.
Awesome.
Great.